is Nidhi Jain, an assistant professor from Sidling School of Law, Jaipur National University. First of all, I welcome you people in the renowned university, Jaipur National University. I hope all the dreams are going to be true in this university, and you are going to achieve the heights, any of the heights you have thought before taking law. As I have known that you have taken law, you must know regarding the supreme law of land. Do you know what is the supreme law of land? As you have taken law, you must be aware regarding supreme law of land. The supreme law of land is constitution. This heavy word constitution. What the constitution means? From where we have brought our constitution. What is the role of constitution? What actually this heavy word constitution means is, it is the supreme law of land. And why it is known to be the supreme law of land? Because any of the law framed in India should always remain consistent with the constitution. And whenever any law passed in India is inconsistent with the constitution, then that would be declared as null and void. That will never remain in force in India. So constitution is known to be the supreme law of land. Every law should always be consistent with the constitution of India. Afterwards, today I'll let you know regarding what is constitution, role of constitution in India, why do we need constitution, what is the reason behind having constitution, like for the governance of the country we should know regarding constitution. Apart from that, what the features constitution have brought and from where we have borrowed these features. I'll also let you know regarding the preamble of constitution. What do you mean by the preamble? Preamble is the preface of constitution. Whenever we read a book, we always go towards the preface of that book, to get an idea what actually this book taught about, what are the actual objectives of writing this book. So whenever we need to know regarding the objectives of constitution, we always need to read the preamble. Preamble talk about the main objectives of framing the constitution. Apart from that, I'll let you know regarding the purpose of having the preamble, so that you people will get an idea that why we are going to read the Constitution of India. Also, I'll let you know regarding one very important feature of India, that is quasi-federalism. Now, what do you mean by quasi-federalism and why we are going to read about it? Why we are going to know about this quasi-federalism? Because what is federalism first of all? Federalism means the division of power. First of all, I said division of power, not separation of power. Afterwards, I will let you know regarding what do you mean by division of power and what do you mean by separation of power. Whenever we will talk about federalism, we should always keep it in mind that it is the division of power. Division of power means division of power between center and the state. This is known as federalism. India is neither a unitary state nor a federal state. Why? Because it is a quasi-federal state. Why quasi-federal? Because somewhere we will see the features of unitary state and somewhere in the constitution we will see the features of federal state. So the nature of the Indian constitution and the nature of the Indian government is quasi-federalism. I'll let you know regarding some of the features of unitary system and some of the features of federal system afterwards. Apart from that, we are going to read here regarding what is Constitution of India. I'll let you know regarding the basic features, the basic principles given in the Constitution. Like, what do you mean by fundamental rights? Basic provisions, I'll let you know. What do you mean by fundamental right? What do you mean by DPSPs? DPSPs is Directive Principles of State Policies. Fundamental duties. What are your duties? What are your responsibilities towards our nation? And why we are going to fulfill those responsibilities? How we should fulfill those responsibilities towards the nation? Alright. Afterwards, I will also let you know regarding your fundamental rights. Why these are known as fundamental rights? Fundamental means basic rights. The people, they are having basic rights, are fundamental rights, which are given under Part 3 of Constitution of India. So I'll also let you know regarding the main headings of fundamental rights, so that you people will just get an idea that afterwards what you are going to read in law, what you are going to read in constitution specifically. So let me start now. What do you mean by constitution? As at the initial stage also, I told you that constitution is the supreme law of land. Every law, every ruling, every policy, whatever has been passed by the government should always remain consistent with the constitution of India. It should never be derogatory. Whenever the law, whenever the policy, whenever the ruling passed by the government, if it is not consistent with the constitution of India, that would be treated as null and void. Now what is null and void? You people must not be aware regarding these legal terminologies. Afterwards, whenever you will go forward, you will you will be known very familiar with these terminologies of law. But initially, if we will talk about null and void, means that would be deleted. In a simple language, that would be deleted from India. Why? Because that should always remain consistent with constitution. Now, the two main aspects of constitution. What are the two main aspects of constitution? What the constitution deals with? The two main aspects of constitution is the relation between different levels of government. Different levels of government means legislature, executive, judiciary. These are the three levels of government. What is the function of legislature? You people must be aware regarding legislature, no, which frames the law, like parliament, which frames the law. If we will talk about at a central level, then what is the legislature? Organs of legislature, Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha. Okay, whenever any law needed to be framed, bill passed in like Rajya Sabha, and then the bill passed with majority in Lok Sabha, then it goes for the assent of president, and whenever the president signs it, it will become the law. So this is the legislature. Now, if we will talk about another level of judiciary, another level of government, then it would be executive. What would be the main function of executive? Executive works for the execution of those laws, whichever has been framed by the legislature. This would be the main function of executive. Executive works for execution of those laws, to make those laws enforceable in the country. Alright. Now, the third organ of the government would be judiciary. Now, what will be the work of judiciary? To see regarding the enforcement of these laws, and whenever any person infringes that particular law, would be punished by the judiciary. Alright. Apart from that, one very important function of judiciary will be to interpret the law. To interpret the law, matlab whatever the law framed by the parliament should be interpreted properly in the manner that it should always remain consistent with the constitution. It should always be interpreted in a manner that it should always remain consistent with the constitution. For an example, if we will talk about right to life, okay, you people must be knowing regarding right to life, जीने का अधिकार. Okay, what it involves? It involves roti kapda makan at earlier stage, but through the interpretation done by the judiciary, as it has the power to interpret the law, it has now widened the right to life. And how it has widened? It has included number of rights into right to life. Like, right to life will include right to safe environment, right to privacy, right to be informed, and number of rights has been included in right to life. So it has widened the scope of right to life. This was just an example to let you know regarding the working of judiciary. This is the third organ of government. Another main aspect of constitution is to maintain the relation between the government and the citizen. Okay, it will not only function regarding the relation between the organs of government, but it will also work for the relation between the government and the individual and the citizen. Now, the main role of constitution is in legislature, executive, judiciary. As I have already told you people, what the legislature do? Legislature makes the law. Executive execute or enforces that law. And what the judiciary do? Judiciary basically works for the sees for the implementation of those laws, whether they are like working properly in the country or not. And apart from that, judiciary works for the interpretation of those laws framed by the legislature and executed by the executive. Apart from that, why do we need constitution? What is the aim regarding having constitution? Why we need constitution? Because we should have the governing of the country very properly in the nation. And if we want a proper governing in the nation, we should have constitution. What are the aim regarding having constitution in the country? Because we need constitution to govern a country properly in the state. Fine. Second thing is, constitution defines the nature of political system of a country. Nature of political system means, as I have told you regarding federal system, what the nature of the country is. What is the nature of our country? We have the democratic country. Why we have the democratic country, and how we can say that our country is democratic country? Because we can see it as per the constitution that our country is a democratic country. Afterwards, I will let you know regarding what is democracy and what are the features of democracy. Why we say that our country is a democratic country, I will let you know regarding all these things. Apart from that, we will talk about the feature of the political system of the country. Then Constitution says that the features of the country is quasi-federalism. Why quasi-federalism? Because some of the features says regarding it is having the nature of unitary system, and somewhere we can find the features of federal system. Alright. So combinedly we can refer that we have the quasi-federalism in India. Okay. Apart from that, why we need constitution? All the three organs of the government like legislature, executive, judiciary functions within the constitution. It should always function within the boundaries of constitution and should not go beyond the boundaries of constitution. It sets the limit on these organs of the government. Okay. Apart from that, also it gives powers to the citizen of India. Constitution also works for it. It gives the citizen derive the powers and the authority from the Constitution of India. How? जैसे we are going to read fundamental rights under part 3 of Constitution. Okay. What are the fundamental rights? Fundamental rights are the powers of the citizen, which is given by the Constitution. So Constitution also not only sets the limit on the organs of the government, but also gives powers towards the citizen of India. Whenever any of the government, any of the organ of the government work derogatory to the constitution or infringes any fundamental right of the citizen, if the fundamental right of the citizen is infringed by any of the organ of the government, then citizen has that power that it can move not only to the High Court, but it can also go directly towards the Supreme Court. Need not to go to the lower courts. But on the infringement of fundamental right under Article 226, citizen can move to High Court, and under Article 32, citizen can move to directly towards the Supreme Court regarding the infringement of fundamental rights. So, in this manner, Constitution of India sets some limits regarding the derogation of set some limit regarding the powers of these organs of the government. So, due to these reasons, Constitution is required to have a authoritative allocation of power and function, and also restrict them within the limits. Okay. Now, one very important aspect of Constitution. Do you people know that we have not framed our own fresh Constitution in India, and we have borrowed some of the features, majorly all of the features of Constitution from other countries. And why we did that? Why we have not written our own fresh Constitution? Because what India thought to borrow the best features of the countries from different countries to make our Constitution as the best. Like for an example, from UK, we have taken the principle of president as a nominal head. Okay. Cabinet of ministers. The feature of cabinet of ministers has been taken from UK. Post of the prime minister. Parliamentary type of government is also taken from UK. Bicameral parliament. Bicameral parliament means the two houses of parliament, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Whenever any law, whenever any bill needs to be treated as a law, it should always be passed from Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Then it should be signed by the president. It should gain the assent of the president to become the law. And whenever there is a financial bill, money bill, then it should always be first put in Lok Sabha. Whenever it will be passed by the Lok Sabha, then it goes to Rajya Sabha. And afterwards, after gaining the majority in Rajya Sabha, it will pass by the president, and then only it will become the law. So this is the nature of bicameral parliament जो हमने लिया है, that has been taken from UK. Lok Sabha as the more powerful house is also taken from UK. The Council of Ministers is always responsible towards Lok Sabha. This feature is also brought from UK. Okay, now if we will talk about USA, what we have taken from USA and why we have taken, what are the features we have taken from USA and why we took that? Like written constitution. Do you people know who wrote our Constitution of India? This monumentary document is handwritten, and the Constituent Assembly took on an approx little less than 3 years to write this monumentary document. Do you people know this monumentary document is a living document? Why it is living document? Because constantly amendments means changes. As you people are new in the locality of law, you people must not be aware regarding amendments. Amendment means changes. The constant changes. So, Constitution of India is a living document because amendments goes on in the Constitution of India. Apart from that, appointment of vice president is also taken from USA. Okay, the best feature, one of the best feature of Constitution, fundamental rights, your basic rights given in Part 3 is also taken from USA. Features of Supreme Court, powers of Supreme Court taken from USA. So in this manner, we have not written our own features. We have taken the best features. We have borrowed the best features from many of the countries to frame our own constitution in India. Okay, now if we will talk about Australia, what we have taken from Australia? Concurrent list. You must not be aware regarding concurrent list, but we will in the Constitution of India we have three kind of list: union list, state list, and concurrent list. What union list do? In the union list we have the subject regarding which union has the power to frame the law. That is union list. In the state list, state is having the power to frame the law. That is state list. And what do you mean by concurrent list? The feature of concurrent list is taken from Australia. What do you mean by concurrent list? Concurrent list is the list in which both the union and the state has the power to frame the law. This is concurrent list. Also, the state and center relationship is taken from Australia. Apart from that, the language of preamble. Now, afterwards I will let you know regarding the language of preamble, what it says. So, that feature has also been taken from Australia. Okay, USSR. One very important feature, that is fundamental duties. Okay, we always talk about our own rights, but in some manner we should always talk about our responsibilities as well, no? So whenever we talk about our responsibilities, our duties, so these the feature of fundamental duties taken from USSR. Why we always say that we should always respect our national anthem, we should always respect our national flag? From where all these criteria come? Because we have fundamental duties towards our nation. Okay. 5-year plan also came from USSR. Apart from that, Germany, emergency provisions. There are three kinds of emergency in India, like state emergency, national emergency, and financial emergency. So this criteria of emergency provisions also taken from Germany. Okay. From Japan, if we will talk about Japan, then laws on which Supreme Court functions taken from Japan. From Canada, federal system and residuary powers. On the residuary powers, center has the power to make the law. These features, these kind of features has been taken from Canada. If we talk about South Africa, then procedure of constitutional amendments. How we do the amendment? In what manner we will do amendment in the Constitution of India is taken from South Africa. From Ireland, the concept of DPSPs. What is DPSPs? DPSPs are directive principles of state policies. The principles, the provisions upon which the government works is the DPSPs. Even though DPSPs are not enforceable in court, like fundamental rights, as I have told you people, on the infringement of fundamental rights, you can go in High Court or Supreme Court. As like that, DPSPs are not enforceable. You cannot move in court for the enforcement of those DPSPs. But these are very important. Why these are very important? Because DPSPs are the set principles on which government actually works. Government works for the welfare of the society. On which formula government works for the welfare of the society? On the principles of set principles of DPSPs, that is directive principles of state policies. Alright. Now, if we will talk about the preamble of Constitution of India, what are the main important terms used in the preamble of Constitution of India? One main few magical words of preamble of Constitution of India is "We the people of India." Why we the people of India are the magical words? Because the powers to govern the country has been given to the people of India. That we the people of India will govern our country. Okay. So we the people of India is the very important terminology used in the Constitution. Apart from that, the objectives of Constitution given in the preamble, like what will the objectives to be achieved by the Constitution of India? Justice, liberty, fraternity, equality. Justice, liberty, equality, fraternity. These are the objectives needed to be achieved by the government. Okay. Afterwards, you will be knowing regarding all these heavy words like what is fraternity, what is liberty, what is equality, why justice is necessary, on which principle justice will be provided, like on the principle of natural justice will be provided. What are the features of natural justice? You people will be aware afterwards regarding all these things. Apart from that, some important terminologies used in preamble is sovereignty. India is a sovereign country. How India is a sovereign country, and how we can say that India is a sovereign country? What do you mean by sovereignty? What do you mean by a sovereign country? It means free to follow internal and external policies. India is all free to follow internal as well as external policies. No one, even America, cannot bound us that you should follow these policies, you should take these decisions. Why so? Because India is a sovereign country. We people are free. Being Indian citizen, we people are free to frame our own policies. Indian government of India is free to frame any of the policy it wants in regard with internal as well as in regard with external boundaries. Like, let me give you an example. Let's take it as an example that if any conflict is going on in between America and Russia, and if India wants to sign any policy related to energy with Russia, then India is always free to form its policy, to form its laws, or to form the contract with Russia regarding those particular energy laws principles. Why so? Because we are having the sovereign country. We are sovereign in nature, and America cannot bound us that we are having the conflict with Russia, so you can also not be allowed to frame your contract with Russia related to energy. It should never be done. Why? Because we are having a sovereign country. We all are free. We people are free to take our own decision. Being living in India, no one can bound us. Alright. Apart from that, one also very important feature is secularism. We are secular. Our state is secular. Why our state is secular? Because secularism actually means no particular religion is preferred. Okay? No particular religion is preferred. Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Isai. We all are same. Brotherhood needed to be maintained. Integrity needed to be maintained. So, important feature is secularism. Alright. Another important thing is socialist. We are socialist. Socialist means, it means no concentration of power and money. There should not be any concentration of wealth. There should not be any kind of discrimination on the basis of economy, political system. Like in the social nature, we should always never be discriminated. Alright. So there is a principle of secularism in India. Socialism in India. Alright. Apart from that, democracy. What do you mean by democracy? Democracy means rule by the elected representative of the people of India. There is always the principle of election. Of the people, by the people, for the people. This definition given by the Abraham Lincoln for democracy. Alright. जनता की सरकार, जनता के द्वारा सरकार, जनता के लिए सरकार. That is democracy. Alright. Now another principle is republic. Republic means it means no room for hereditary ruler or monarch. There should not be the principle of monarchy, anarchism, dictatorship. So we are having a republican country. Now, why we read this preamble, preface of Constitution? What is the aim regarding reading this preamble? The aim regarding reading this preamble is because it is the source from which the Constitution derives its authority, from where we derive our authority, and also to know regarding what are the objectives, why we read Constitution of India. Constitution seeks to establish and promote what actually the Constitution seeks to establish, and the objectives. What are the objectives of Constitution? So, to let us know regarding the objectives of Constitution, we go through this preamble. Do you people know what the definition of preamble given by Mahatma Gandhi? Mahatma Gandhi used to say that preamble is actually the India of my dream. He gave the definition of preamble as the India of my dream. So it is all regarding preamble. So that's it for today. I told you regarding the main concept and introduction of Constitution. Just to give a brief idea that regarding what you are going to read in Constitution, or regarding what you are going to be faced regarding the features, regarding the principles, regarding the policies, how the government works. So the basic organs of government I told you people. So this is all regarding Constitution. Have a very good day. All the best and achieve all the heights you thought to achieve before coming in this university. Welcome to this university once again. Bye bye. Have a good day.